So, what was the order of the commission? This commission, the Delimitation Commission, was set up under the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019. For this, the commission has recommended that Union Territory will have 90 assembly constituency. In this 90, the bifurcation for Jammu division is 43 and 47 for the Kashmir, right? And the other seats, there are total 112 seats, that is 24 seats are reserved for POK, right? I'll give you the details in the last later part of the video. Now, this has brought the Rajouri and Puch sector under the Anantnag parliamentary seats. Those of you who are preparing for any other state competitive examination, specifically J&K के लिए भी जो preparation कर रहे हैं उनके लिए इस तरह की important news हो सकती है. Among the other seats are 9 for being reserved for the scheduled tribe. So caste representation is also given for SC and ST. There will be first steps towards restoring the electoral process in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. This is very important news. You can expect a mains question in this as well. Now, seats before the delimitation exercise, क्या actual number of seats थे delimitations के पहले? So otherwise there was 87 seats that were there in total, जहाँ पे 46 seats थे कश्मीर के लिए और 37 थे जम्मू के लिए and 4 for Ladakh. And in the reorganization for the erstwhile state, Ladakh was declared as a union territory without an assembly. Now, what was the work that was assigned to commission by the central government? So the 3-member delimitation committee was headed by Ranjana Prakash Desai. He's a retired Supreme Court judge. The name of the chairman is important. There are 2 other members. आपको उनके भी नाम पता होने चाहिए. Make sure you check out. This is a homework that you'll be doing. The commission was entrusted with the work of delimiting the assemblies and parliamentary constituency in union territories for Jammu and Kashmir on the basis of the census 2011. उसके अलावा recommending the government to consider give the displaced person for the Pakistan occupied Kashmir and Kashmir representations in the assembly and nominations. Third जो recommendations जो उनको देनी थी work assign किया गया था, that was related to the population of Jammu region which is 53.72 lakh और कश्मीर में जहाँ पे 68.83 लाख करोड़ population है as per the census of 2011. Now I was talking about this infograph that will give you a clear picture. This is very important infograph. You can take the screenshot of this as well. So in total, there are 114 seats, 94 J&K and 24 for the Pak reserved, that is reserved for POK, right? Pak occupied Kashmir. Otherwise, 46 seats was there for Kashmir, 37 for Jammu, 4 for Ladakh and 24 for the POK. So this is how the commission has actually worked. Before Article 370 was revoked, Delimitation Commission seats was held under the J&K Constitution and J&K Representation People Act of 1957, right? And in 2001, then Assembly passed a law freezing the delimitation exercise till 2026. तो वहाँ के Assembly ने पास किया था laws कि 2026 तक यहाँ पे किसी भी तरह की delimitation exercise नहीं होगी. But once the abrogation of 370 took place, the central government has come up with the Delimitations Commission. Now, norms eased for GM crop research. This is important for General Studies paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So recently, the Department of Biotechnology has issued a guideline where it says that the researcher into the genetically modified crops and circumventing challenges using a foreign gene to change their profile. तो कुछ guideline में relaxations दी गई हैं, eased की गई हैं, exemptions दी गई हैं for the research activities. So the guideline for safety assessment of genome editing plants exempts researcher, exemptions दी जाती है to use gene editing technology to modify genome of a plant seeking approval from the Genetic Appraisal Committee, an expert body under the Ministry of Environment and Forest, right? तो इस तरह की इंपॉर्टेंट गाइडलाइन आई है जहाँ पे ये सारी चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट होगी आपके लिए. जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग अप्रेजल कमेटी के बारे में जानना भी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो व्हाट इज GEAC? द जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग अप्रेजल कमेटी फंक्शंस अंडर द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट एंड फॉरेस्ट and it evaluate the research into GM plant and recommend the disapprove into the release of the farm field. But जो फाइनल कॉल आती है GEC के वर्डिक्ट के बाद वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट को ही लेनी होती है. दे आर द final authority to decide upon what to do, right? As well as in terms of states such as plant could be cultivated. Now functions क्या है genetic engineering appraisal committee के? First, to appraise activity involved in the scale of large heterogeneous microorganism and recombination research in industrial productions from the environmental angle. Second, to appraise proposal related to genetically injured organism जहाँ पे उनके products environmental concerns में या experimental field trial में किस तरह से functions कर रहे हैं, that is being checked. Third, that is committee or any person authorized by its power to take punitive actions against the Environment Protection Act. तो बाकायदे एक लॉ है जिसके अंदर पनिशमेंट का भी प्रोविजंस रखा गया and this power is given to the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee. So these are some of the important functions of the GEAC and these rules are prescribed under Rule 1989. Now GM plant की categories की अगर बात करें, so the GM plant that usually come under such scrutiny are involved in a transgenic technology. This introduce the gene editing from different species into plant. एक instances के लिए example के लिए BT cotton को समझ सकते हैं where gene from soil bacterium is used to protect the plant from the pest attack. So these are some of the advantages of the GM plants. But the worry around this method is that the genes may spread neighboring plant also. And such efforts are not intended to show their applicant but have been controversial for a longer time. Now restrictions on gene editing रखी गई है, कुछ restrictions भी गवर्नमेंट ने रखे हैं. Gene editing evolved the technology that allows genetic material to be added, removed, altered. ये तीनों चीज़ें उसमें प्रैक्टिस होती है, या तो कोई किसी चीज़ को ऐड की जा रही है, किसी चीज़ की रिमूवल हो रही है, किसी चीज़ के साथ ऑल्टरेशंस हो रही है. So this is how the gene editing definition goes, and this is again important for your prelims examination. If you want to understand it much better, you can watch a video on YouTube regarding the gene editing, and animated video that will help you understand how these things work. Gene editing can be used to make plant properties or name with them, and gene editing include the genetic engineering, right? So gene editing technology में alterings होती है and function for the gene can cause large and unintended consequences that can change to toxicity and allogenicity in plant, right? So this is the reason being some restrictions are also there. Therefore, the Environment Ministry has said there is no question on giving the exemptions to particular kind of genome editing plant from the regulatory purview. So this would be under the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee recommendations only and final approval from the Ministry of Environment and Forest. 29 phone tested for Pegasus spyware. This is important for General Studies paper 2. That is structure, organization, function of executive and judiciary. So recently the Supreme Court has extended that time to submit the report to the Apex Court appointed technical supervisor committee to look into the Pegasus rule, right? यहाँ पे 29 infected phone को examine की गई है जो कि एक spyware है Pegasus, इससे infected, right? The bench was headed by the Chief Justice of India, and the technical committee has been examining the mobile and spyware and has recorded the statement for person including the journalist. The final report is expected to be submitted to the top court, that is Supreme Court, by the middle of June, and the matter will again be heard in the month of July. Now constitution हुई थी technical committee की, specifically Supreme Court has taken the cognizance of the NSO software Pegasus, और बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग थे जिनकी spyware की गई थी. The Supreme Court in its order on 27th of October 2021 have constituted a technical committee to oversight under the Justice R.V. Ravindran to inquire, investigate and determine certain matters related to the complaint of unauthorized use of Pegasus software. Pegasus एक ऐसी सॉफ्टवेयर है जो सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट यूज़ करती है, और जो NSO जो कंपनी है वो सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट को सेल करती है फॉर सिक्योरिटी पर्पसेस. बट इट वॉज बीइंग रिपोर्टेड कि बहुत सारे ऐसे रिपोर्टर्स थे, RTI एक्टिविस्ट थे जिनके खिलाफ भी ये यूज़ किया गया, राइट? एंड दिस इंडियन सिटीजन अगेंस्ट द मैटर ऑफ मनमोहन लाल शर्मा वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया. तो ये केस भी काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए. नाउ एन इंटरनेशनल मीडिया कंसोर्टियम has reported that over 300 verified Indian mobile phones were reported in the list of the potential target under the surveillance of the Pegasus software, of spyware actually. So this is how the Pegasus spyware work and how it can do. First SMS, थ्रू वॉट वेज पेगासस कैन इंटर योर फोन, SMS के थ्रू, व्हाट्सएप के थ्रू, आई मैसेज के थ्रू, या अनरेबल जो वनरेबिलिटी है उनके थ्रू, कोई लिंक के थ्रू भी ये एंटर कर सकती है आपके फ़ोन पे. वन इट इज़ इंस्टॉल्ड इन योर फोन, इट कैन रीड योर SMS, इट कैन रीड आउट योर email, take all your photographs, contacts, record calls, WhatsApp chat, calendar. It can activate your microphone, it can activate your camera, and it can activate your GPS data. तो ये इतनी पावरफुल बग है, स्पाईवेयर है, जो ऑलमोस्ट आपके फ़ोन अगर आपने स्विच ऑफ करके भी रखा हुआ है तो सारी चीज़ें वो ले सकती है. until unless the phone is not destroyed, it is capable of doing anything, right? And as I've told you, this was built by the NSO group, which is an Israel-based group named NSO. तो अगर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की बात की जाए तो NSO would be the correct answer. Now moving to the editorial, we're discussing two editorial a day. The first is the business of the federalism. This is important for General Studies paper 2, functions and responsibility of union and states and issues pertaining to the federal structure of our country. So I'll be simplifying this editorial by 6 important subheads. The first is Indian federalism, cooperation between center and state, Pragati platform, competitive aspect of federalism, Niti Aayog initiative, and the way forward. The entire editorial focuses upon the federalism between the center and the state. This is written by Arun Chawla. He's a Director General of FICCI. So जिस तरह से ongoing distraught हो रही है between the center and states over the ranging issues, specifically allocated with regard to the GST rates that was once again brought to the forefront with regards to the federal structure of our country. Recently सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी ये कहा है कि जीएसटी के बारे में स्टेट्स और सेंटर दोनों के पास पावर है कि वो रूल्स बना सके, राइट? सो द रेजोल्यूशन ऑफ दीज कंसर्न इज एसेंशियल फॉर अ कंट्री ग्रोथ. सी देयर कैन नॉट बी two-way going for a way. There has to be a conclusiveness which can decide upon that who is authority and how the things would be moving ahead. Right? Now, Indian federalism की अगर बात करें, Indian federalism today enable the center and state to function both in inclusivity and mutualism. तो दोनों के पास अपनी exclusivity है और mutualism का मतलब है कि mutual benefits के साथ काम करना, sustainable development के लिए काम करना. The new approach has a combination of cooperative and competitive spirit that ensure economic prosperity, जहाँ पे states और center एक ऐसी nation के build करे जो equal हो और equitable manner में काम करे. However, if it is coupled with the positive competitions among the states, the overall result would be large-scale economic development of our country. Now, cooperations between centers and states की अगर बात करें, how the center and state can function in a better way with a proper coordinations. So for this, there are various fronts that has to be looked upon. The first is fine-tuning of development measures of desired outcome. Second is a development reoriented related policies or policy decision, welfare measures, administrative reform and strategic decision. तो ये कुछ ऐसे areas हैं, foremost area हैं, कुछ ऐसे fronts हैं जिन पे center और states दोनों को काम करने की जरूरत है. Now, Pragati platform, again a significant one that was recently launched by the central government. यहाँ पे Prime Minister ने एक important initiative ली है to discuss all the important issues related to the central government, states government. तो recent में 2015 में actually launch की गई थी. तो Prime Minister ने National Informatics Centers के थ्रू ये कोशिश की कि जितने भी states के chief ministers हैं, chief secretaries हैं, district magistrates हैं, periodically एक meeting करें गवर्नर के साथ प्रगति प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू, और जो प्रोग्रेसिव डेवलपमेंट एफर्ट्स होनी चाहिए एक स्टेट्स के डेवलपमेंट के लिए उसको एग्जीक्यूट किया जा सके विद रिक्विजिट एनर्जी सिनर्जी दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड बिटवीन द सेंटर एंड स्टेट. सो दिस वुड बी एक्टिंग एज अ ब्रिज बिटवीन द सेंटर एंड द स्टेट्स एंड मेक थिंग्स वर्क इन अ मोर इंक्लूसिव मैनर. तो प्रगति प्लेटफॉर्म काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, अगर आप मीन्स में लिख रहे हैं तो इसके बारे में ज़रूर डिस्कस करें. Now, competitive aspects of the federalism. The competitive aspects of federalism has positively harnessed and encouraged the states. जहाँ पे दोनों को best practices adopt करने की ज़रूरत है. दो best practices बताए गए हैं. First is the positive effect and other is the healthy competitions. I'll discuss each one by one. पहले देखते हैं positive effects का क्या मतलब है. Positive effects of the states towards attracting investment, जहाँ पे एक conclusive और conductive environment की जाएगी for economic activities in urban and backward region. This will raise India's manufacturing capacity to the next level and radically transform the India growth story. Third, the rise in economic activities would result in the higher GST collections, thereby boost the government welfare measures. नाउ हेल्दी कंपटीशंस किस तरह से कंपटीशन होनी चाहिए स्टेट्स के बीच में और स्टेट्स और सेंटर के बीच में. सो हेल्दी कंपटीशन अमंग द स्टेट्स वुड हेल्प टू इनोवेट एंड जनरेट रिक्विजिट सिनर्जी फॉर द लोकल बिजनेसेस. एडॉप्टेशन ऑफ जो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस होंगी दैट विल इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन अ रिफॉर्म मैनर ताकि एक पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट हो इन ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस फॉर द माइक्रो स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस. नाउ हेल्दी कॉम्पिटिशन्स का ये भी मतलब है दैट दिस शुड बी कपल्ड विद transparent ranking system that will ensure the materialization of vast but least utilized potential of the federal framework. So this is how the healthy competition can move ahead. Now Niti Aayog ki bhi kuch initiatives hain in this regard. Niti Aayog has launched sector specific indices like School Education Quality Index, Sustainable Development Goal Index, State Health Index, इंडिया इनोवेशन इंडेक्स, कंपोजिट वाटर मैनेजमेंट इंडेक्स और एक्सपोर्ट कम्पिटिटिव इंडेक्स. ये सारी ऐसी इंडेक्स है जो हर एक स्टेट्स को रैंकिंग देती हैं ताकि उनके अंदर भी एक कम्पिटिटिव एटीट्यूड आ सके, हेल्दी कंपटीशन का एक नोशन आ सके ताकि वो भी अपने स्टेट्स में बेटरमेंट कर सके. Now looking into the way forward, the rising stature of Indian economy for a world stage can be strengthened by a tailor-made approach to the cooperative federalism and competition with healthy competition only. The central efforts towards implementing the 14th and 15th Finance Commission के जो recommendations report थे, that will definitely contribute to a great resource devolution between the center and the states. और जो recent में reform लाई गई है under the new labor code and other amendments that was enacted by the legislature also exhibit that trend. So these are some of the things on the right direction that will help the states and the center to go further with the growth projections for the Indian economy and overall prosperity for its citizens. Now the other editorial, that is talking peace negotiation with the Maoist, important for General Studies paper 2, welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the centers and the states. So under this editorial, there are 4 important subheads. First is the background, second is conditions by Maoist group, demand of the Maoist and गवर्नमेंट एक्शंस. तो पूरे एडिटोरियल की फोकस है माओइस्ट के प्रॉब्लम और इनके सॉल्यूशंस की तरफ. दिस इज रिटन बाय आर के विज, इज अ स्पेशल डीजीपी ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़ गवर्नमेंट. Now, recently, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh has announced the state government that the state government would be ready with the peace talk with the Maoist if they lay down their arms and have the faith in constitutions to move ahead with prosperity and their growth. तो चीफ मिनिस्टर ने प्रपोजल रखी कि जितने भी वहाँ के माओइस्ट है वो सरेंडर करें, जो मेन स्ट्रीम ग्रोथ है उनके साथ जुड़े और एक अच्छे नागरिक की तरह, गुड सिटीजन की तरह अपने सारे जो आगे की लाइफ है वो पूरी करें. Earlier in 2010 also the Union Home Ministry has tried the Maoist negotiation in table, but something has not conclusively come in this regard. Now conditions by Maoist group ने कुछ conditions रखी है. उन्होंने पहली बात कही है कि जो चीफ मिनिस्टर ने कहा है कि Maoist ग्रुप को वो मेन स्ट्रीम में लाएंगे, बट उनके लिए क्लैरिफिकेशन ये चाहिए कि किस तरह की कंड्यूसिव एनवायरनमेंट होगी पीस टॉक के लिए, पहली बात. दूसरी, जो माओइस्ट के कुछ स्पोक पर्सन है उन्होंने एक्यूज किया स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को दैट दे शुड एक्चुअली दे हैव नॉट इम्प्लीमेंटेड द पीसा एक्ट ऑल्सो, राइट. सो दे शुड नॉट इम्प्लीमेंट द पीसा प्रोविजन ऑफ पंचायत एक्सटेंशन एक्ट इन छत्तीसगढ़. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द कंडीशंस दैट वर रेज्ड बाय द माओइस्ट ग्रुप. नाउ डिमांड और क्या क्या की गई हैं. सो द मेजर डिमांड ऑफ द माओइस्ट इंक्लूड लिफ्टिंग द बैन ऑफ देयर पार्टी, जो पीपल लिबरेशन गुरिल्ला आर्मी है, PLGA जिसको कहते हैं, and People Liberation Organization, withdrawing of security forces from their camp, release of their jail leaders in order to participate in the talk, or government should adhere to the constitutions to end illegal murder and name of the encounter, tortures and the arrest. So these were some of the demand that was raised by the Maoist group. Now you can look into this map. This will give you a clear idea about the red corridors और कितने सारे states जो हैं वो affected है. The highest among them is Bihar, then we have Jharkhand, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, कुछ महाराष्ट्र के states हैं, then Uttar Pradesh, and last is among the Madhya Pradesh, right? So these are almost 106 worst affected district in the 9 states. ये डेटा भी काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए. Now कुछ गवर्नमेंट के एक्शंस की अगर बात करें, छत्तीसगढ़ गवर्नमेंट हैज नॉट ओनली विड्रॉ द क्रिमिनल केस अगेंस्ट मेनी ट्राइब but also has ensured the expeditious trial of the Naxal cases, right? This is what the government has promised. And the government is also working hard to implement the PISA. The aspirational district program, which was launched in 2018, this also aims to transform the district and have shown tentatively lesser progress in the key areas. So this would require a more comprehensive implementation so that it is helping to the masses of the society. नाउ इसके अलावा गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ और इम्पोर्टेंट स्टेप्स ली हैं. इसका एक नाम है समाधान. दिस स्टैंड फॉर स्मार्ट लीडरशिप, एग्रेसिव स्ट्रैटेजी, मोटिवेशन एंड ट्रेनिंग, actionable intelligence, dashboard for KPI, that is key performance indicators, and KRA, that is key result areas, harness technology, actions for each threader, and no access to finance. So ये एक initiative है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की. And despite the past experiences and conditions, Chhattisgarh government and MOIST can work out a plan. This is how they can execute it and they can come up with solutions. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question also, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for there is World Sustainable Development Summit. It is an annual summit organized by the Greenpeace. The theme for the summit is redefining common future safe environment for all. So do check it out for the correct options. Second, Shramik. It's a dynamic portal for mapping the skilled Shramik for the MSME and other industries. The portal uses algorithm and artificial intelligence tools to provide skill training programs for the Shramik. So do check it out. Which among the following is the correct option for this? This type of question is again going to be important for the prelims examination. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.